Welcome to the best and worst of this year. Today, we're going to be doing it a little bit differently, different formula. We're going to be doing the worst first, then the best. Of course, you probably already know that. Hopefully, I'll be able to deliver you guys a good list. Again, it's going to be an top 5 instead of a 10. I said I'd go for 10, but couldn't because when you have so much work and including having to work on holidays, it's kind of tough to go ahead and have movies up on the front, so I have to put it on the back burner. But I still managed to get you guys, I think, a pretty good list. So, let's begin.
Number 5.
This year has been a very interesting one, both with good and some pretty horrific ones. And unfortunately, we got a lot of disappointing ones, and this one I believe to be the paramount of disappointment. Number 5 to me is Fantastic Four. The reason why Fantastic Four I believe to be one of the most disappointing films is that we have a great setup, we have great characters, an unforgettable storyline. Unfortunately, the execution was the main problem. We got a film that was trying too hard to be more sci-fi than sci-fi slash superhero. And the worst part about this film is that I believe is that the actors' talents were absolutely squandered. That was the worst part about it, honestly. Flimsy writing, two-dimensional characters, and it was a little bit dark and boring, honestly. But honestly, that doesn't pale in comparison to what's coming up next.
Number 4.
Number 4 this year features a film that, of course, we always ask the question of why? Why is that? Why did this get made? Shouldn't have been made? No, absolutely not. What other film am I referring to? Oh, I don't know, maybe a little film called Vacation. Holy crap, where do I start with this one? The fact that it was an absolute rehash of the same thing we've seen, except far more crude and, well, just generally unfunny. Characters that we just can't seem to like, plot that really just doesn't seem to go anywhere, besides, you know, out back. Wherever the hell they're supposed to go. The one thing that really killed it for me was the jokes. Everything was a miss after miss after miss. I just couldn't get into it. My attention felt like it was completely being drawn and such like that. I just couldn't keep focused in on the movie because it was just stupid. It was honestly really stupid, and I felt like I lost a bit of IQ out of this one. I wish I could say that would be the absolute worst of this year, but unfortunately it only gets worse from here, folks. It's only going downhill. Number 3. Fuck, I lost it again. Oh, no. Got it. Number 3 was one of the films that really, I even questioned myself on why would I bother with this. And I remembered I do this. Number 3 is Hot Pursuit. Talk about a film that has execution of jokes that just keeps going miss after miss after miss. And honestly, cringe-inducing humor. Especially when you completely botch a lesbian scene. I mean, come on now. Even when the vast majority of your male audience is saying that this scene in here is really god-awful, you know you really screwed up. I'm not gonna bother much more on this one. It was just awful. Don't waste your time, please. Again, losing IQ here.
Number 2.
Okay, so this one's a bit of a double whammy for myself because I read the script, got so curious about it, then watched the whole thing. Unfortunately, I subjected myself to this, and I wish I hadn't. It is an absolute cancer, but not as bad as one. And I gotta say, folks, making this list was really difficult this year. So far more with the best of the year than the worst, but the worst had me scratching my head and wondering, should I put it here or there? Without further ado, number 2 is Pixels.
Adam Sandler's dying.
Yes, he is.
He's been dying.
He's a dying little man-child, unfortunately. Pixels was one of these films that I had to absolutely question what the writers were on. In fact, if they were even, you know, grown men. Let's take, for example, Kevin James, who is the President of the United States, who can't read and tries to ban every single library in America. Do you know how likely that is? The idea of Pixels, in all honesty, now you can go ahead and flag me for this or whatever, I also thought it was a good setup, a good premise. Unfortunately, when you have characters that aren't likable to any stretch of the imagination, this is what you get, and honestly, it was a pain to sit through. I felt like it would go on for hours and hours. It was like this year's Blended. Really bad. And of course, Adam Sandler comes in and on the chopping block again and tries to take down another career, which is Josh Gad. I can feel my rage boiling, but I'm saving that for the last one. Pixels, don't waste your time. Again, I'm losing IQ from this. Save me.
It's number 1.
Boy, this has been quite a journey, hasn't it, folks? We've gone through some pretty horrible ones, and I'm sorry I didn't get to sit around and talk about it more, but I wanted to go ahead and explain this one. Number 1 was a film that I unfortunately had to sit through, and it was an absolute pain. Cringe-inducing humor and such, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Come on, folks, we all know this one. It's Paul Blart 2. Oh, God. What can I say about this film besides the fact that it was the absolute worst piece of crap I've seen in quite a while, honestly? Let's start with characters that we can't even like, for example. Everyone is annoying, incompetent, and just overall just idiotic. Let's go with Paul Blart, who's only running gag joke is the fact that he's fat as hell. And unfortunately, we get subjugated to all these predictable outcomes that come with the film as well, too. We called out every single scene. We knew what was going to happen. It's not just all Blart who's incompetent, it's also the bad guys as well, too. They're supposed to be trained professionals in terms of heists and whatnot, but they can't even do the simplest task, it seems, because they're getting beat by a fat man in a Segway. The thing is, though, folks, is the reason why this film sucks completely is that it was just fat people falling down and making fun of said fat people. Incompetence of absolute idiots. It felt like it took forever. I wanted it to end. It would never end. And, oh god, it was just, and just as simple terms as I could put it, it just sucked. Either way, this film is absolute cancer. Don't even watch it, please. Just spare yourself. Don't do what I did. Oh god, please help me. Oh, again, what a journey, folks. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the list. And of course, if you could do all of us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more, because as we all know, this is the one type of event this year we've always been looking forward to. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll see you around next time, and stay tuned for the best of my, stay tuned for my best list of 2015.